taxpayers, you're back with MrTaxes.ca with special guests and our special co-host. Make sure and tune in weekly Wednesday mornings, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 noon Central. Remember to subscribe and remember to smash, bash, and kick it in the you-know-what with that like button if you want more videos like this. And there you have it, a little music intro to kick it off for week 14 with our Dollar Tax Club affiliate webinars. There he is, special guest, Collin Murray.
Hey, Robert. How's it going?
It's going good.
Awesome.
Let's see if we can queue up our presentation. It's coming. So how's things going in the mortgage world?
It's great. Busy. Lots of renewals, refinances, first-time home buyers. It's keeping me very alert and on my toes.
Yeah, keeping you out of trouble. I know that for a fact. So we're kicking it off here with the weekly Dollar Tax Club affiliate webinar where affiliates come to learn tips, tricks, and most importantly, mortgage brokers to learn about our affiliate program. And the agenda for this week, as always, is what are you going to learn? You're going to learn a little bit from Collin, learn about Collin, who he's with, how long he's been a mortgage broker, what his tips and tricks are to getting the best rates on your mortgage, the best service, all those things that are kind of hidden beyond just the rate. Our special co-host, Jesse, is not available this morning. He may tune in a little bit. His son is ill and going in for some surgeries, so he has to take care of that. But he said he'll try and tune in, put his 2 cents worth in. If it counts for much, it's usually worth about 4 cents when Jesse chimes in on the affiliate marketing tips. And then we always have a few little tax tips, tax joke, and some motivation stuff to get you going for the week and keep you going till next week. So these come to you live every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Central, and a little bit later on the East Coast. Upcoming dates, this is actually our 14th webinar, so it's a little bit of a typo. But if you want to get on our webinar series and watch our replays, etc., from past webinars, something you may have heard about, want to catch those, you can catch them on our YouTube channel as well. But if you want to sign up for the events, there's 2 spots, MrTaxes.ca/events, and then Facebook.com/events. It's from our Facebook page. Before we get into all Collin's accolades, here a little bit about us at Mr. Taxes. We started the Dollar Tax Club about 1.5 years, almost 2 years ago, really as a marketing funnel. We were working with a lot of marketing companies as clients, and they were asking us what we're doing for our marketing. And they were showing great ROI on their marketing efforts. And we asked how they were doing it. They said with a marketing funnel. So our co-host, who's absent this morning, you may tune in. Jesse runs Next Level Marketing. So they have helped us refine our marketing funnel. And he's actually come on board being life insurance licensed as well, running Alberta for us on the life insurance side. So that's a affiliate program we have for mortgage brokers. We offer referral fees. You can get signed up at the DOLLARTAXCLUB.ca/mortgage. So our trademark is backdated to 1984. So we have been around for a little while. My kids say a little bit too long, but they're covered. Something happens to me, they're not going to have to worry. And in 2015, we sold out December 31st, 2015. We got offered to get bought out. The company that took over just took over the locations and did not want the intellectual property, the brand. So we kept that alive for 3 years. After our non-compete was up, we started up again, and now we're officially franchising. Jesse, our co-host who's absent today, he again runs our marketing funnel. 3,000 new clients on board with us just since October of 2021. And Jesse's, I'd say 50% responsible because he took over from Aaron Fraser at Diamond Movement. And Aaron helped us launch. Jesse took over and are actually taking us, no pun intended, to the next level, which is the name of his company. So the tax joke of the day, 2 little images here with DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street. So it's him, paying $2,000 in taxes or $150 to prepare your taxes. So through the Dollar Tax Club, you can get a 30% discount for filing your personal tax return with us for the first year. So get signed up at DOLLARTAXCLUB.ca. Collin has an affiliate link. So if you're looking for any mortgage info, you like what Collin has to say today, Collin, reach out to Collin. We're going to put his contact info And Colin, if you have any links or anything you want to mention, Alicia's working in the background so she can get those into the chat area, and she's going to field any questions coming in as well, so it doesn't interrupt your presentation or our flow. So I'll let you read it off. Tell us a little bit about Collin Murray.
All right, thanks. So I've been a mortgage broker with TMG, the mortgage group, for 4 years. Preceding my time as a mortgage broker, I've done 2 separate stints with the Canadian Armed Forces, total of about 12 years. And alongside that employment, I've worked at the provincial government and for 21 years, being employed all across Canada, USA, and mostly recently overseas. Father of 2 great children. I enjoy going on hikes, kayaks, adventures, etc. Anywhere that doesn't have cell phone reception. Need to unplug occasionally. Another point is openness is a great aptitude to have in the mortgage broker industry, because there really truly is no cookie cutter approach to a file. I've seen lots of first time home buyers and no two are alike. So it's really good to keep my mind open to hearing what my clients are speaking and the points that they're relaying to me. Attention to detail and document management is a strength that I've sharpened over my years with the provincial government. It's a really crucial key as a mortgage broker, because a lot of the underwriting is now something that we're expected to do before we submit files to any lenders. We have to have a strong sense of the strength of the application. So that's a crucial piece of gathering documents and doing our own underwriting now. And my main objective when I'm working with my clients is ensuring that each client get the best product for their particular situation. And again, that kind of goes back to that cookie cutter approach. If I don't ask a lot of questions, I won't know that their future plans is moving to a remote island to raise goats, to have a farm there, which may not meet the current lender's criteria, because some lenders will only lend to in certain areas with certain populations. So again, that goes right back to, if I don't ask those questions at the onset, I might actually put a client in not the best product, because then they'll have to be shifting out of that lender to another lender, which could cost them money.
It can always cost money. Something you left out of your bio, though, was candlelit dinners and long, slow walks on the beach.
Yeah, but that has to be in like Puerto Vallarta or somewhere.
Yeah, at midnight walks. So
Right.
what got you into mortgage brokering? What was the pivotal, I guess, point that said, hey, I'm going to sign up, get my license, take the exam? What was it? Any one event or a series of events?
I mean, I've held mortgages for decades, but even while holding a mortgage and going through the process, it still seemed quite foreign to me. I never really, I worked with the banks, actually. I never had a mortgage broker. I know how dreadful and how sinful, but I didn't. I only knew what I knew, and I listened to the people around me, and they said, well, go to the bank. And so I did. It's a very transactional process with the bank. So again, I didn't learn much from my experiences of holding a mortgage and going through that process. I have a close friend that's been a mortgage broker for, I would say, 17 years. And he kept on kind of nudging me going, I think this would be a good industry for you. I think you would be a good fit. I think you'd be a good match. And I didn't listen for 13 years. And then, I just decided, like, I want to pursue this career. I like working with people. I like the interviewing process of finding and gathering details. And I like the financial aspect, trying to fit products into places.
It's not an easy step to take on a new career and jump out on your own. What are some of the challenges that you've come across, going back 4 years to when you started? What were some of the initial challenges?
In this particular career, I believe there's a very steep learning curve. So I didn't know what I didn't know, and that's a hard place to be, coming from a place where I knew a lot of things. I knew A precedes B, C follows B. Like it was in both of my careers with the military and the provincial government, there wasn't a lot.
How to dismantle, clean, and assemble a rifle.
Yeah, exactly. There's squads that you break it down into, and then they're manageable. But in this industry, you can't really break things down into squads. It happens as it happens. Things unfold as they unfold. And you have to be able to adapt to that change quickly and know where to put a client into a certain product, because each lender has different guidelines, and it's up to me to know that. So at the beginning, it's, again, going back, it's hard to know what I didn't know. And I had to ask a lot of questions and seek a lot of advice, and learn from the scrapes and the bruises.
Much like my beginnings back in '96 when I had my injury, I had to change careers. I went from framing houses to sitting in the back of an accounting office doing bookkeeping for $6.25 an hour, and just, one step at a time. It's one, you learn how to open up the software, learn how to, when I first started, I actually rarely had ever used a computer before. I remember the first day at that first job, she said, well, go ahead and turn on the computer. I was sitting there. I actually didn't know how to turn on the computer. I didn't know where the button was. I'm looking for a switch, and there's no switch. It's a little button that's hidden in the, the face of the monitor. So, it's all those little things. It's not just, hey, the career. We're all used to dealing with people, but all those little things that build up, but they compound, and the learning curve. So going back 4 years, getting over those initial hurdles, the bumps, the bruises, the next phase as a mortgage broker is, finding clients. Where did you start? Do you remember the first client? Do you remember your first mortgage? Did you make errors on it? Was it sent back a couple times?
Yeah, I mean, the first, the first client where you're paid a commission on will be one that I won't forget. And yes, there was not errors, but there's a clean file and a not very clean file. And to get to this stage of files being submitted clean, accurately, without errors, it took time. But thankfully at TMG, I have what's called the Deal Center, and we have folks there that at the beginning, they really monitor file submission, and they walk brokers through it, because there's several different platforms in which we need to navigate. We have to submit files through a platform to lenders first and foremost, but we have to order appraisals. We have to navigate with realtors and clients. So there's a lot of moving pieces, and it takes trial and error for individual brokers to learn their own pace and how they're going to approach their workload.
Yeah, I see Alicia's put your link, collinmurray.ca, so that goes to your TMG branded site. 2 L's, 2 R's, but only one broker for all your needs. I think that's your new tagline.
Yeah. Well, right now it's your mortgage matters, but I like that. I like that one.
Yeah, because I got it wrong a couple times actually as well, way back in dating. So I just checked our records. We've been working together and known each other since 2000 and
is my guess 9 or 10.
Oh, it's 2009.
Yeah,
2009. And I remember you referred us a client that wanted to pay us in loonies and quarters. It was like a $1,800 bill for a corporate tax and some other work we did, some tax. I remember my back was sore, and you had to help carry the bags of loonies out of the trunk.
I remember.
Yeah, we always joke around. People say, well, we had a call with a client yesterday. They have an inheritance, and they say, how do we get the money into the country? And we were on a Zoom call, and I just looked to both sides over my shoulder. I said, small unmarked bills in a duffel bag. Zero Avenue is a good spot around midnight, but you get those questions all the time, but you get all kinds of scenarios. People want to pay cash.
Mm-hmm.
We don't, we'll take cash, but we issue receipts for everything we do. There's a lot of clients that work under the radar. But what we try and do is like work ethically, and we believe in taxes just like you believe in the best rates for mortgage, but you got to pay something for your mortgage, especially if it's, a B line. Maybe explain, because of the chaos in the world right now, going to a B line of credit or a B
monoline. Yeah, sure. Mortgage. So there's three, to break it into three simplistic categories. There's A lending, which is big banks, et cetera, right? They have assets. They vary a little bit between each of those lenders, and debt. That's the debt servicing ratio. And then there's beacon score requirements, and obviously income requirements. So they fall into sort of the most affordable lending is A lending. Then into the B lending world, they have a little bit softer criteria when it comes to total debt service ratio. So those margins can be higher. So if a person's income is lower, but they still want to get that same property, we can extend the debt service ratios to make them fit that program. And then there's also
that's kind of like extending my images to make me look thinner. Similar, right?
That could be true. Yes. Yeah. You look very svelte today.
It's like Photoshop for mortgages.
Yeah, I guess it could be. So they're also more favorable for business for self people who maybe do not have 2 years of T1 generals. There could be stated income products for those folks that are business for self. And then the third category is truly lending based on the equity in the home, and that's alternative private lending. And so we look less at the person and more at the property. The Beacon score, credit score, it may come in factor a little bit, but truly it's what would be the loan to value on the request that the client's asking versus those other key pieces within the A world and the B lending world. It's a very good product for some folks that just don't have the income right now, but have the property.
And you were talking about 2 years of T1 generals. If clients can't find them, that's one of the services that we offer through the Filogix Expert Pro platform. We actually have a new link that's going to be launched on the site May 1st. There will be a beta version before then, probably early next week. We're April 6th now, so probably the week of April 10th, we'll have a beta launch, and brokers will be able to order T1 generals, stated income returns, GST returns, corporate NOAs as well through that secondary portal through the Filogix. So why does the lender require those documents?
It's a proof of what happened yesterday, because words are I mean, I need to follow up what I'm saying with documentation. So the other reason that they're really important in the T1 general is it will show what a person's earnings were before write-offs. Because sometimes some lenders in the B world will gross up that income. So the net can be grossed up, perhaps up to 15%, depending on what those write-offs are. And in a T1 general, thankfully, it's all listed there.
Details.
Yeah.
It's all in the details. Yeah, it's we're a service provider for Filogix amongst other service providers. What are some of the other services you use through the various platforms that you're on? I know that there's credit bureaus, there's appraisals, there's getting bank statements. Just go through maybe 3 or 4 of those services that you provide for clients, to make their life easier. For example, the NOA is very easy. It's a click of a button. They get an email through the Filogix platform. We get their NOAs within 30 minutes. They don't have to worry about digging through the closet, the attic to find those, with the other things as well, with the credit bureaus. So maybe just top 3.
Yeah, so definitely when you're working with me after a client agreement is signed and I've seen photo ID that matches the client name, I usually ask for an application that's filled out online electronically through my website. I would be then pulling credit bureau just to ensure that the liabilities primarily that are listed in the application match the credit bureau. Sometimes I've run across situations where people didn't realize that there's a cell phone that's been sort of sitting there for years and impacting their credit because there's a $10 balance left there, and they weren't aware of it. So that's another, I would say it's a service, because I do ensure that anything that's listed on that credit bureau is accurate to their situation. We can get their NOAs through that service, but most people I'm finding are able to submit their own. So if they need support or help, then that's when definitely I'd use those services. We're getting closer to maybe even accessing bank records on people's behalfs. But again, that would be something that would be done individually with the client. We can pull titles of current homes to ensure that there isn't anyone else listed on the title, and or any other issues that might impede lending on that property if someone's put some sort of charge against it without them knowing. So that's another service.
Those are always surprises. So we have your website up, collinmurray.ca, 2L's, 2R's, but only one broker for all your needs. If somebody's on your website, I know Alicia's put it in the comments. You won't be able to see that in the replay, so it is up on the screen here, collinmurray.ca. It's just highlighted up top. Where's somebody going to go on here to get started?
So you'll see the apply now. I mean, I have reviews on there. So if a person would like to sort of see what I've done and who I've helped, there's some great reviews there. I believe they're all 5 stars. So I've helped an array of clientele with different needs for different mortgages. So I'd like to sort of point that out as well. Like, there are niche markets for some sub-mortgage brokers, and I would like to speak to mine. Mine would be anything in the A world, B world, or private alternative. The area that I will likely refer back to colleague is any commercial lending, because commercial lending is an entirely different scope, and I'd always want my clients to have the best service possible. So I would refer them to commercial broker.
So you do handle commercial. If somebody came through the door, you have TMG is a big group.
Yes, really big.
Pretty much anybody that comes through the door, you can help with pretty much any mortgage need. Similar to us on the tax side. I mean, we get clients coming in. We had one client come in with $150+ million in real estate, and
right.
foreign owned trusts and things that are, we focus our niche is, the middle income client, the average Canadian household, and same on mortgages. You have your niche. Ours is self-employed business for self individuals, small Canadian controlled private corporations, usually, just either a husband, wife, or a couple, or 2 partners in a corporation, a lot of trades. But more specifically, now we're focusing on the real estate industry, realtors and mortgage brokers. That's who we service as our clients. And then in return, our affiliate program, mortgage brokers can refer clients to us through lead generation. And if those clients don't have a mortgage broker, they're working with the bank and they want to, get a little better results, then they can reach back to you as a mortgage broker.
Yeah, and a lot of people will ask me, like, what are the costs to work with a mortgage broker? How is a mortgage broker paid? And just to speak to it briefly, clients typically don't have to pay the mortgage broker. The mortgage brokers are paid by the big banks, by the financial institution. In A lending, in B lending, there's typically a 1 to 1.5% fee associated with lending, which would be could be paid out at the lawyer's office and or blended into the mortgage. And lastly, alternative and private financing is a paid service because the brokers are not paid by the lenders whatsoever. So that would be the place where a client would face broker fees.
So here's one of the marketing pieces that we put together for you as part of our affiliate program. Can you see the QR code up on the screen?
I can.
Yeah. So, if somebody's watching, they want a tax review, mortgage review, click on that QR code. It'll take you to a link, put in your email, contact info, and Collin will reach back. Pretty simple. Watch for those on social media, and Collin's number and domain email is up on the screen as well. So we'll leave that up for a bit.
Amazing.
So the compensation as a mortgage broker, I think it's the old adage that you only eat what you kill. So no clients, no income, don't feed the family. But you talked about, the compensation, but what are the benefits of working with a mortgage broker versus just the bank? And, we'll go, maybe top 3, and then we'll go to the bank side in their defense. Banks are always preaching that, hey, it's better to work with us than a mortgage broker. So let's look at both sides.
Okay. Situation. You are out with your realtor. It's Saturday and you found your dream home and offers are going to be accepted on Sunday. You want to run by and make sure the numbers are still solid as far as maybe this home has, or it's a stratified condominium or a stratified town row home, and there's inflated strata fees because this place has a swimming pool and you love swimming pools. So the finding this home on a Saturday, you were or you had been speaking, let's say, to your mortgage broker or maybe bank, but the numbers were deflated a bit based on what you were looking for. And now you've increased the price of the home, but you haven't increased the down payment. So the margin in which you need to qualify for is higher, plus a higher strata fee, perhaps even a higher property tax. Who's going to run those numbers on Saturday at 3 o'clock? I don't think the bank's picking up the phone, but I will. I'll run those numbers and I'll make sure, yeah, you know what? It's sound. It still looks good. The debt servicing ratios are still in place. The only thing I can't confirm, no, that's not true. I could actually even contact CMHC and talk about that property, that building, and to see if there's any concerns. If it's going to be an insured product, I can get their weigh in on that product or on that property as well.
What's the bank's argument to work with them?
Probably the stability of, having a brick and mortar place to enter with your documents versus we do a lot of things virtually. So if you're a person that likes face-to-face transactional services, yes, I can see the bank still sort of. I mean, as a broker, I'm mobile. I can meet people, but at a certain point, there has to be a level of trust between myself and my clients that I'm not taking their documents and being like I have them under my care and control. But that takes a lot of trust. There's that has to be something that someone's comfortable with doing versus walking into a bank, seeing a branch manager or a lending officer in an office in a brick and mortar bank. That alleviates, I bet, some of the uncertainty.
Yeah, we had a client come into one of our first offices. It was out in Langley, a rural suburb of Vancouver. And it was a farmer, and he came in and he was bent out of shape that we were going to scan his documents and email them to him. Mm-hmm. But here's the same farmer that came in the last 3 weeks in a row to pick up his mail. There was a mailbox service inside our office, and he was complaining about all the mailboxes being broken into in the suburbs. In the farm country, they have the rural mailboxes, and he was complaining the last 3 weeks. They said, "Where's your stuff safer? Out there mm-hmm. in cyberspace or sitting in a mailbox at the end of rural Route 1, Langley?"
Yeah. And I think that's individually I'll have to be able to answer that. I'm comfortable more so now than ever with the technology and the fact that things are floating around. Like my pay is online. My pay is, I don't receive a physical check anymore. Like most people, it's electronically transferred into an account.
Like most people, does anybody receive a physical check anymore?
There's a couple of people, still some people. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, we work with a lot of affiliate marketing groups, and there's one group, the water filter, a Nagic company. Here's a multi-billion-dollar company with, I believe, about 15,000 distributors in Canada, and they still pay out by physical check manually for all their commissions on every deal. So if somebody sells, for example, 3 machines a month, very high quality machines, great product. They'll send out 3 checks that month to that distributor. And we have one guy that was receiving upwards of 200 checks a month from them, and they put them in the mail. It's with today's technology, things can be solved.
Yeah.
So going back to some of the services that you provide online, like, the credit checks, the appraisals, those types of things, I believe most of it's done online now, except the appraisal. Maybe somebody will come out and take a drive around the block.
Yeah, I mean, great point. In most high ratio mortgages, they don't even require an appraisal because it's going to be insured by a mortgage insurance company. Beyond that, when an appraisal is required, depending on the value of the mortgage versus the value of the property, or the amount of the mortgage versus the value of the property, they might be able to do what's called a desktop appraisal, in which case they don't even need to go to the property. The bank can do that on their own accord in their own system. If that doesn't justify or match their need, then we send an appraiser out to said home to do a full appraisal. And they look at recently sold properties and have their own criteria for how close they have to be for this particular property, the one that the mortgage is going to be lent upon. But yeah, sometimes it can be as defined as there's no interior inspection required. It's just an exterior. Lots of different, depending on, like I said, that whole no cookie cutter approach. Even with appraisals, there's no one set standard. We are literally told most times by the lender how they want that particular appraisal to be on that particular mortgage product.
And without diving too deep into the weeds with rates and all of these things, let's look at variable versus fixed, and maybe just the outlook. There's a lot of uncertainty in the markets, and we're a full-blown accounting firm. We're finance people, but I don't get involved in economics too much. But you have your finger on the pulse. What do you see happening in the next year, let's say 4 years or 5 years, up to the next possible election in 2025?
Rates are on the rise. Prime, we just saw a prime increase to 2.7. So people that have been holding variable with a discount on that variable have just recently seen an increase in their mortgage payments. So it's like I try and talk to people about the pros and the cons of both, and then let them decide, because everyone has their own appetite for risk. And it's not for me to suggest yours is right or wrong. I provide as much clear information as I possibly can, and then let the individual decide. Because sometimes even in a couple, it's tough, right? Because there's one person that's more risk adverse and one that has no problem. So I don't want to wedge myself in between that conversation, but I just provide the best and the worst of both variable and fixed.
Then you put variable, on the mediator hat.
Yeah, for sure. I have to. Variable, it can be very attractive, but what I've been seeing people do with variable is, I'll just throw numbers here. A fixed rate, let's say the mortgage is $3,000 a month. If you take that same mortgage but put it into variable, it's $2,600 a month. You're saving
right now.
Well, and these are just numbers, okay? Just to sort of give you a story here. What I see people doing is paying their variable mortgage by keeping that $400 into a savings account at the end, and at the end of a year, putting a lump sum payment down on that mortgage, because you can do up to 15% with most lenders. And that's why I see people staying ahead of this raising market, so that they're getting the benefit of the variable rate today, but they're also forecasting these increases. And by making a payment as if it's fixed, but putting it into a separate account and then making a lump sum payment at the end of the year, they're still, I believe, mathematically ahead of this rising interest rate, mortgage interest rate. That's one strategy, but a lot of, you have to be very disciplined to be able to make that savings, and then upon making the savings for 12 months, make that payment.
One of the things that we can do as well for clients, we have an investment division, mrinvestments.ca, so we can set up that TFSA account. We do that a lot as well for clients that want to put money into their RSPs for the first-time homebuyers plan, which now up to $35,000 you can withdraw. But a lot of people put their money first directly into their RSP, and it grows. So you're taxed on that withdrawal, or you have to repay that amount back on the growth. But if you put the money into a tax-free savings account until the first month of the new year and then transfer it to your RSP, you transfer it in at the higher rate, so you're not paying tax on that growth. As well, people that are putting money into their down payment, instead of giving the money directly to the lawyer, to the broker, the realtor, family funds, put that money into your RSP first. So plan your home purchase ahead of time by reaching out to a mortgage broker and a financial planner. We can help.
That's key.
Yeah. Because you can leverage, if the minimum basic tax rate now is 15%. So if you're putting 35,000 in, I'm just looking for a calculator here. You're looking at about $4,700 refund on that money just by putting it into the RSP before RSP deadline, and then wait the 90 days to pull it out for your first time home buyers plan.
Yeah. The criteria for first-time home buyers is listed on the government website, and it's pretty clear who's eligible for a first-time home buyer RRSP reduction, and it's $35,000 per person.
Yeah. Now, good question. Now, we promised we weren't going to ask any trick questions, but when ultimately, and this is just a guess. It'd be pretty easy to Google it. But when was the last time we had 10% interest rates on mortgages?
I don't know.
These are the 90s. I know when my mother purchased her first place, my uncle helped with that, with the purchase. I had a single mother growing up with her siblings, and her first place, I believe it was 21% interest, and we're talking about 1979, 80.
Yeah, the 80s were astronomically high. I know my folks purchased a place and they were at 17.8%.
Wow. Do you see rates hitting 10% again before the next election?
Well, I mean, the stress test at 5.25 that was implemented in 2018, I believe, that was the test that was formulated for a rate increase, so that a person could afford a 5.25% interest payment. We are now at well over 4%. So that stress test of 5.25 at this point is sort of moot, because a person has to stress test at either 5.25 or their interest rate plus 2%. So if their interest rate right now is 4.59, the stress test now is actually 6.69. So we in this short 4 or 5 years since the stress test has been implemented, for some people that 5.25 is behind us. So where we're going to go is anyone's guess. We can forecast. We can actually presently see that we're in a rising rate market. But the crystal ball, where we're going to end, where it's going to start to plateau, is unforeseen to me. If you do have questions about your current rate, whether you should be locking in if it's variable, renewing into a rate currently, happy to answer those questions for sure.
Yeah, reach out. It's in the chat area there. CollinMurray.ca. So Collin with 2 L's, 2 M, 2 R's, 2 L's, 2 R's, and only one broker for all your needs.
I'm going to use that.
I just got that ring in my head now. Okay, let's we're on the 9:45 mark here. So DOLLARTAXCLUB.ca/affiliates. If you're a mortgage broker listening in and you want to get on one of these webinars, try and knock Collin off his perch, being our inaugural affiliate here. Yeah, he's ready to rumble. But again, we're the side hustle for your side hustle. We're not trying to steal business from you, but if you want to leverage us and what we do to potentially bring on new clients as mortgage clients, we do offer free tax reviews for anybody that comes through the door. We go back 12 years. We have a 101-point checklist. So if you want to offer that as a lead generation tool, by all means, get signed up. You saw some of the ads that we create for brokers, the ones we did for Collin. The last one we had up was how to actually access your CRA account. So if your clients have access to their own CRA account, it's going to make your life easier as a broker. And we're trying to make things easier. So what's in the affiliate marketing program for brokers? There's 3 points really: what's in it for clients, what's in it for brokers, and what's in it for us. And I think the main point here is what's in it for you as a mortgage broker is referral commissions from us. So we pay out referral fees for every client referred to us that does business with us. That's a way that we can say thank you. You saw some of the social media ads that we've created for Collin, and those are unlimited, really. Once you run out, we'll create more, and discounted services for you and your clients. Collin's been a client since when did we say 2009?
Yeah.
Now that you're a mortgage broker, I believe you've got a couple leads back already.
I have.
Some of them aren't renewing right away, but those build up. And I know you have a database. You stay in contact with clients. We've received great feedback, on the service you're providing. So that's it's always good to hear. And then again, these webinars come to you every week, Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Central. Here's a tip Double, put your investment funds inside your TFSA and earn tax-free transfer amount needed at the end of February to max out your RSP. We talked about that. Why do you want to do that? Because you transfer it into the RSP at a higher rate and you're not paying tax on the growth when you take it out. If you're receiving 8% over the life, your working career, you're going to pay 3 times the amount of tax when you take your RSP out, when you withdraw it before you're 72. So if it grows 3 times, you're paying 3 times the rate in taxes. So be cognizant about your savings plans. Financial reviews included with $1. So if you're a potential client, you want a tax review, sign up here. It's $DOLLARTAXCLUB.ca. You have Collin's QR code. You have his link for the website. Reach out to him. He can get you hooked up with that as well, especially if you're looking to get your mortgage renewed with everything that's going on in the world today. How much chaos is there out there? Are mortgage brokers being inundated with not renewals, but refinancing and adjustments, all those things that you guys do?
Somewhat. I think the biggest issue I'm facing is the banks are busy, and the time in which they can respond to documentation, etc., it's slowing down. And so if there are thoughts that you want to have another conversation about, is this the right lender? Should you be shifting your product to a different lender to renew or refi? Meaning refinancing is actually drawing out more money than the mortgage is worth today. Provide yourself more time than you think you need, because we are seeing delays at the banks for processing paperwork, and then notaries and lawyers are extremely busy as well. So sometimes they're booking upwards of 2 weeks out as of today's date. So those are very, and appraisers as well are booking probably 5 business days out. So those are things that we need to factor into a package. So just provide yourself enough time, provide me time to find the best lender, and happy to do it.
Yeah. How let's say somebody going out as a first-time home buyer on a semi-detached home, we're talking 2 weeks minimum, correct?
We would like to have subjects for financing of 8 to 10 business days as a minimum, only because there could be delays right now. There was a time when we could do it in 5 business days, but those times are becoming harder and harder to manage that time frame, only because I'm at the mercy of some other folks as well that need to do key pieces to have that lending in place. So I really want to be realistic with my clients and work with their realtors to try and get the best time frame or the best window of time for financing. Lots of people are making offers subject free. They don't need financing, or they're going in full cash offer. So it's not a totally easy market, but it's still manageable with the right people in the right places.
Yeah, if you are a first-time home buyer listening in here, we do first-time home buyers seminars, and we have some replays on our links on YouTube, so you can watch those. Reach out to Collin, if you're thinking of purchasing or refinancing, and as well, reach out to us. There's you can save a lot of money or put some extra cash in your pocket or reduce your down payment requirements just by leveraging your RSP and moving that money from the TFSA or into the TFSA, then over to the RSP, timing it with your home purchase, work with your realtor as well. And we do have realtors on from time to time. I know you work with quite a few realtors, Collin. What do you see, not just all the activity in the mortgage world, but what about real estate? I mean, it comes hand in hand, but there's home buyers, but
I see product staying a little bit longer on the market, to be honest, which is a good thing. There was sight unseen sort of offers being written on properties, and during the height of COVID, clients weren't even entering the homes. They were being shown the home through a Zoom call. Now open houses are back. We're seeing them all over the place. You're seeing the signs on the streets in your neighborhood. So people are able to see the product in which they're going to make the biggest investment with. So that's great. But from the rumblings I'm hearing from the realtors is, the product is staying a little bit longer on the market. 7 days, 14 days isn't unheard of now. If you rewind 12 months, things weren't lasting on the market for a day. So I don't want to say this is the predictor and forecast that it's cooling, but the indicators are such that would let me say it seems to be slowing, which is a good thing for people, especially first-time home buyers, where everything seems to be. It can be easy to make a decision and go, was that the right decision? Did we spend too much? Did we pay too much? Did we? So I'm happy for
that happens. That happens for a couple of weeks and then it all dies off.
Yeah.
It all dies off. I just want to give a shout out. We have one of our registered guests today, Louis Cardosi from Unique Drafting. So if you're building a new home or redesigning, Unique Drafting, reach out to us if you want Louis' contact info. So just shout out to Louis. Any questions, put them in the Q&A. We got about 8 more minutes here left with Collin. Get your questions in. Anything you want to ask. Anything you want to ask the listeners.
If they've had a broker experience and it was unfavorable, what maybe that was, and if they've thought of a way that it could have been better.
Yeah, I can speak to that. We went out to a broker, this is 25 years ago, and he did the bait and switch at the 11th hour, said that they couldn't get approved. We went back to the bank, the day before closing, and the bank helped us out, but he tried. This is 25 years ago, before B lending was a big thing, but we, it turned out through our 25 years now in the business that he's been outcast in the mortgage world. So, you can only play those games for so long. Integrity plays a key, but a lot of times it's the client's issues, bad debt, etc., credit scores. One of the things that we can help with is CRA debt. Usually 50% or more of somebody's credit bureau debt is with the Canada Revenue Agency. And these are things that we can help with. Voluntary disclosures, taxpayer relief programs, and of course, objections and appeals. These are all things that we do to help brokers get their clients approved. One little tip for brokers: if you have a client with a balance owing on their statement of account with CRA, we can have that removed from their account faster than if they mail a check in by filing a notice of objection. It won't eliminate the debt forever, but it can get it cleared so you can get refinanced to get the money to pay off the debt. So it's a catch-22 in some cases. So those are just some of the things we do to help brokers and we're the national service provider for Filogix. We have Filogix on in the last Wednesday of every month. Somebody from Filogix that comes in, talks about the brand, their partnerships, and some Q&A, some product demo with them as well, with the Filogix platform. What's up for the rest of the week, Collin? We're almost at the hour here, so
client contacts, digging through files, ensuring paperwork is straight, and that the compliances that I need to ensure are tight, and enjoy.
How do they reach out on your website? There's a booking link, or they go through an application? What if they just want to ask questions or have a chat?
Yeah, certainly give me a call or email me at Collin.Murray@mortgagegroup.com. I monitor that email all day. So if it's something that isn't immediate and it's a question that can wait, then that's a great source for me to be able to get the information that they are requesting and get it back to them in a form that they sent it to me in writing, or phone calls. It's great. Speaking to somebody in real time is a great thing as well.
Yeah, thanks. I know you're busy. I know you got lots of clients waiting there. I know you're booked solid with meetings. So give Collin a shout. If he doesn't answer right away, I know he will get back to you. Thanks for coming on this morning.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Any final words?
Collin, 2 L's, 2 R's, just one broker. Your broker.
Only broker. Just one broker for all your needs.
Yeah, just one broker. You got
one broker for all your needs. Okay,
I need to tighten it up.
That's all right. We got time to do it. So we'll see everybody next week. And until then, have a great week.
Take care.